Ladies and gentlemen, more Age of Mythology Retold multiplayer action with original Age of Mythology players. This year, in the blue color, is Shelty playing as Loki. Now Loki is one of those gods that just doesn't get enough coverage right now. I think he might be a little bit weak. But let's see if Shelty can figure it out. Perhaps I'm just missing something. I think Odin is better, but experimentation leads to progress. I'll try Shelty. On the other side, we have got Kimo. We've cast a game of his already, but he's sticking with Set anyway. Didn't go well for him the last time, but this map is not a water map, so perhaps here he can figure his life out a little bit better. This is Nile Shallows. There's gonna be a lot of shallow water, but that does not make it a water map. There's actually no fish around here as far as I know. Yeah, it's just very wet. Don't think you can build a dock or anything either. It's just like this. Anyway, there's a lot of hunt. And the forests are actually kind of small, so you have to be careful with forest fires. Not going to be a problem for this, but one more reason why Odin can be really good, because some of these retold maps have tiny forests. If you only have 3 tiny forests in your main base and one of them gets chopped down or burned down by forest fire, that's a big deal. Loki will have to be far more conventional and rely on his new bonus of military units just getting a better multiplier against their counters. Potential summons of myth units, which the heroes can do best, but the human units now also contribute towards that hidden favor pool. The way... Oh, excuse me, Shelty just pissed off that crocodile and it's fighting Kimo's priest. If Shelty can get ahead of that priest and get a bunch of good attacks in, he might be able to kill that thing. Kimo is desperately running back. Can he make it to the tower? The berserk is too fierce. Run for the tower. He's going for it. Might need a villager. Nah, Shelty breaks off. It just wasn't enough. That's unfortunate. That was not enough, ladies and gentlemen. We tried. It is hard to path block in the Retold beta, honestly. The pathing has improved for large armies, definitely. But the smaller groups, they often get stuck in each other. They push each other and they slip out from in between spaces that shouldn't make it possible. So yeah, there's a lot of weirdness going on with that. However, when it's a large group, I had a game where I sent an entire Ragnarok plus the pre-existing army into one place and everyone was fighting. You would never be able to do that on the original, so I have high hopes for pathing. They just gotta work on it more. Anyways, we've got Kimo's temple, he's got the one monument, and he's ready to go to the classical age momentarily as he drops off his resources. Everything's quite clean, just needs to fix the idols. As for Shelty, he's gonna be close as well. Wait, this is Ptah. I think Anubis is actually underutilized. Like last game that we cast, Kimo tried the Serpent Spear upgrade, which is actually pretty nice. It gives the Spearman a poison damage now. And I think if you combine that with a good defensive set of snakes, sets discount for barracks units, and the high multipliers of those barracks units, I think the Norse classical army can be beaten by that. I'd love to see more of it, and maybe, just maybe, you boom alongside that. So you do a 2 town center classical fight, maybe even go up to 3 town centers if you feel comfy. I would love to see something like that getting attempted here. As for Shelty, what I'm interested in seeing is, will he go for mass Hersier once he's in the classical age? Hersier can be trained in a temple as well as the Great Hall. Shifting Sands is coming in. There's a little bit of warning to it now. These animals are right on top of the villagers, and the villagers are weak, so they're gonna be going down very quickly. The Pharaoh attack is so high now compared relatively to the health of these individual villagers. I don't think you need to care about the Norse units around. You're not here to win the efficiency war. You're here to kill villagers. The more you get, the more you win. That is the way to go. You no longer get to steal the villagers for free with shifting sands. You cannot target enemy villagers whatsoever. But doing this, a little bit of commitment of your time with your existing units and the free stuff that you get from the Classical Age Advance, I think that's pretty good business. Now the game has essentially frozen down as we're having this little performance glitch, but no worries, it's back to normal. This keeps happening. Shelty is once again trying to get a 6 surround here, but like I said, the surround pathing is somehow off. He just can't get it. He's trying to click ahead, but the units just push each other rather than walk past each other. So that really needs some adjustments, I think. Age of Mythology is so cool when you can get the fast units ahead of the slow ones, then get a little chip damage in, block it by walking in front, put down a building even as your Norse, and completely block the path. Those are some really cool plays that are possible in this kind of game, and I'd love to see more of it. Anyways, Kimo is now very nicely ahead in terms of overall population. 23 to 19 villagers is probably the biggest deal of all. Shelty throwing down his healing spring, gets his Hersiers back to full. He has a longhouse, so he's gonna make a little bit of Hersier, a little bit of throwing axemen. As for Kimo, he's got triple barracks, so he's gonna go to Petave, and you know what? Maybe this initial villager advantage is in fact better than what I suggested with Serpent Spear and all that overall business. Oh, however, this time around, the Hersiers do get that perfect surround. It can work out, but it's not guaranteed. Do they have the speed upgrade yet? No. This is just normal Hersier going about their business. They're certainly gathering a good amount of favor, but the Axeman spam is going to be a huge issue. They have a 4x multiplier against infantry. So if they get on top of the throwing Axeman, they'll be winning pretty hard. Although, funnily enough, they have lower damage than the throwing axemen do. However, a faster attack rate, I believe. That's a rate of fire, that's not a movement speed. Movement speed is up here. So 1 rate of fire means 1 attack per second. And 1.5, I believe, means it takes 1.5 seconds to do 1 attack. Which means that the DPS of Axemen is actually pretty good. This is 5. And this is 4. Hersier counter raid looking for some damage. Bear in mind, Kimo's villagers are also weak sauce. So as long as Shelty finds something, he can do a lot of work. He's definitely got the upgrade now at 5.2 speed, and he's gonna find the hunters. I wonder if he had spy on those. A troll gets spawned at home. That is so huge. But the Pharaoh here is doing so much damage to it. Very good choice by Kimo to bring that around, but he's gonna lose his villagers, and Shelty's trying to get in front for the perfect surround. The villagers, however, are slippery bastards and they run right past, but doesn't matter. They get bonked on the head with giant hammers, and even they can't take that. More and more houses for Shelty, and I really like his overall composition. But now that Kimo is adding in a bunch of slingers, that is getting a little bit spooky. I think he can soon take the full engagement, but will need a bunch of priests to deal with these repeating troll spawns. And also, once you upgrade the trolls, that's huge. Oh my god, Shelty, you're overqueuing your units. What are you doing? He's also making a bunch of herdmen. That's an accidental misclick. They're counter cavalry. Egyptians don't have access to cavalry in the classical age whatsoever. So that's a misclick. Shelty should make a new building, but he can't afford one right now. So make another great hall would be 160 wood. You can't just have 4 villagers on wood as Norse. You need at least 6 as far as my experience goes. Especially making herdmen against the axemen is just a no-no. Now, Kimo is bringing in a lot more troops. By the way, these trolls have a really cool ability. They throw a giant rock, and it knocks enemies back. You'll see it in a sec. Are we gonna use it? There we go. It's really good. Mini shockwave, you could say. However, oh, the Iron Harrier spawn is huge here. I think it's very likely that Shelty can now surround this entire army with what Hersiers he's got left and take him down. The slingers are not very high in number. So he's having a pretty good time here. As for Kimo, he's down over 1,500 points. And that's pretty representative in Retold, I have found. Score system is really, really nice now. I like that he's bringing a bunch of extra priests here. The hippopotamus that he's converted is also being very useful. Is it the hearse here? Are they not doing bonus damage against them? What's going on here? This is definitely Loki's strength, that he's got these very strong bonus damage multipliers. Another Einherjar spawns! By the way, you can trigger their ability manually without needing to attack an enemy. I think that's hyper practical. It also speeds up all allied units, so you can chase down enemies really well. You just cast it as quickly as possible when you're close, and then you run them down. Even if they're running away, that's pretty useful. Like that. Look at the Herseer speed. It's like, it went up to 6.5 from 5.2. That is huge. These Einherjars are definitely essential buddies when it comes to your micromanagement. Now, in terms of resources, however, Kimo is spending absolutely everything on this triple spam. That's a fact. Shelty, however, is going to the heroic age, whereas Kimo is trying to secure a second gold mine. If Shelty can go to the heroic age without losing any further units, I think a flaming weapons fight will go in his favor very, very easily, especially considering that he's gonna have a battle board. But don't forget, the priests don't care about how armored your myth units are. They deal divine damage to them, whereas they deal pierce damage to humans. Divine damage ignores all armor. So the battle boars, or fire giants, or whatever, they can't resist priests too well, or at all rather. Shelty playing some classic Loki, yes. Agreed. Did he get any armory upgrades? It would be very useful to have at least something, but I don't think he has. Now, mind you, the speed upgrade from Forsetti also applies to other infantry, not just Herseer. Flaming weapons is available. Kimo has to run. He made a budget. Big mistake. That's gonna get owned. If Shelty combos now, flaming weapons with the Einherjar, oh my god! Oh my god, these these Herseers are doing so much damage, but they're fighting the Axemen. They're in the wrong place, dude. Kimo has done very nicely there, and he's gonna even up this fight. The throwing Axemen are getting absolutely melted by the slingers. Beautiful micro by Kimo, so much better than that of Shelty's, and he's absolutely stomping this army. It wasn't even close, but Shelty does have a lot of resources behind this. Unfortunately, his flaming weapons is absolutely toast. It's completely wasted. He should have built up. He should have had more buildings, a bigger army, waited longer, and then strike. The battle boars would have helped so much as well, just knocking back all these infantry units while the Herseers go to town. But now Kimo at full power, without needing the power shower, is going after Shelty, and I'm not sure what he can do without flaming weapons here against a superior Egyptian army. Despite being up in age, that's enough heroes to handle any number of battle boars as well, I think. And there's gonna be no cavalry here to try to offset the lack of spearmen. Kimo could potentially get a second town center behind this at some point once he has the gold for it. Does he have the upgrades? I wonder. Hopefully yes. Unfortunately, this UI doesn't show me any of that, nor can I switch to that view while watching a fight. Very unfortunate. Extended edition did this part better. Troll is spawned in, but the battle boar is really not fighting. The Pharaoh goes to hunt it down. However, like I said, Shelty just doesn't have much of a muchness going on. And Kimo plows through everything. I think Shelty's gonna have to give up. This is gonna be gold control from here. Kimo's just quickly taking down these last units, then he can disengage. Don't have to care about these houses, just go for the gold mine. I'm sure he knows where it is as well, right? Like he knows about the gold mine, it seems. And Shelty is going after these villagers, which is interesting. But yeah, that's gonna be it. He resigns. He knows he can't come back from this. There's this huge mass of units in his face and more streaming across the map that's just unmanageable at this point. Kimo has a farm economy, so he's relatively safe. His gold mine would have lasted another eon. And yeah, Kimo just takes this fairly comfortably after that completely botched fight by Shelty. Just super nicely microed over there. And Shelty needs to be patient, man. This is not gonna work otherwise.